Hey guys, and welcome to the second part of my story. I had to hydrate, I had to take a coffee, and yeah, I can't edit. I don't have the time to edit a video, so yeah, I just went and did that. So I was in season 7, and it was a really good time to stop, by the way, because now we get to the season that actually changed everything. In season 6, I went full PvP. I never PvE'd again until Legion. And it was a shift. Season 7 was the shift. A lot of players were quitting the game and going to TBC arena tournaments, private servers, right? And the players that kept playing the game went to Stormscale. Stormscale was at the time the best PvP realm, right? Horde, Stormscale was the best PvP realm in the world. You had players like really old players as well from TBC, like Hydra, like Inflame. All of those players were from Stormscale. Um, and Xerion team went there, Bloodex team went there. And two things happened in that season for me. One is I make an alt in Stormscale, or I transfer one of my warlocks to Stormscale. I think I have 3 or 4. I transfer one there to compete there, to try to find a team and compete there. And I start using Arena Junkies more often, right, to find a team. It's better than trade chat, right? And what also happened there was MLG started to broadcast a few months or 1 year before, and a lot of tournaments started to appear. The ESL tournaments, the MLG tournaments, all started to appear. ESL had some tournaments in Burning Crusade, but it wasn't it wasn't as often as in Wrath of the Lich King. Right, Wrath of the Lich King is it's when the esports starts to appear all across the games, across all games, right, or across the competitive games. And I have this feeling that I can actually compete. So I go to Stormscale to try to find a team, and I find a team. In Stormscale, the hardest battle group, I find the Druid. I don't remember the Druid's name, nor and the DK, and I don't remember the DK name. And I play Shadowcleave, and we are destroying people in Stormscale. We are legitimately destroying people. I don't even have full gear on the Warlock I transferred there, but we are legitimately destroying people. We win against Hydra, we win against Inflame, Shadowcleave in a mirror. We are just destroying people. I do 2v2 as well with that druid, and I flew to the wrong spots. Oh, I'm not from here. What am I doing? I'm from Revendred. Oops. Um, and I start doing 2v2. I have like 95% win loss. I'm one of the highest warlocks there, and we compete in a ESL tournament. I don't remember the name I used. I tried to look for the VODs, and I didn't find the VOD that that we competed. But we competed in 2 ESL tournaments. One we didn't qualify. The very first we didn't qualify, and the second we qualified, but we lost to Abyss Cleave. And yeah, so I started to compete there, and on my main warlock, I hear or start to face a lot this hunter and druid in twos. I'm playing also Resto Druid Warlock with an insane win loss as well, and this team is not beating me, but they are really close to it, and it's the only hunter druid that is actually giving me any kind of troubles. By the way, by this time 2v2 didn't give any ranks, any titles, or mounts for that matter. They removed that in season 5, so which I still think it's a mistake, because 2v2 it's the easiest um, entrance to arena, if you want to call it that, and it's easier to do 2v2 and find another partner and get better with another partner, and then from there you go to 3v3. And I think that's one of the reasons why arena representation is so low. I get why they removed it in season 5 because of all the DKs and survival hunters, but I think it was a mistake, right? Um, because we all know who is rank 1 in 2s and who is rank 1 in 3s or 5s. We all knew that. We knew that there were warlocks getting rank 1 in 5s, and they were like 2.4k in 3s, and we all know that it wasn't a big deal, I think. And I think they should come back with the titles in 2s, 3s, and they should come back with 5s, obviously. But yeah, whatever. So that team crumbled in Shadowcleave because the DK went to a TBC private server. We competed in 2 tournaments. We were like 2-6, 2-7 in Stormscale, I think, around that at least. And I leave Stormscale. I never play there again. And I start playing more of my main warlock. And I start to hear about this hunter and druid, and I see a Warcraft movie which I'm gonna link. And at this point, by the way, in season 7, on my main I don't have any team, and on any alt I don't have any team because my Shadowcleave crumbled. I can't find good players in Alakir. All of the good players kinda left. Morkabel died. And I hear about these 2 guys, right, in Bladefist, and I face them a lot. They're really good, especially the Hunter, it's insanely good. And there is a gap on the rank 1, because Bloodex, and Bloodex team, Bloodex, Xerion, and Devla are getting rank 1 in Stormscale, which they did. And I think to myself, okay, I'm gonna talk with these guys. And I find a post on Arena Junkies for, not a post, but people would like kind of post, but not really a post. You had a spot where you could find in Arena Junkies where you could find teammates, right? And I found it, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This can be a really good comp. Hunter Lock Druid, 3 different DRs, because back then Cyclone and Fear didn't share a DR, and then you have Trap, which doesn't share a DR with anything else. This can be a really good comp to play, especially as Affliction, because the weakness of the Hunter is getting trained, and the Affliction Warlock brings the pills, or it used to bring the pills that the Hunter needs, right? From rogues, from warriors, from DKs. I'm like, okay, let's try this. I speak with them. By the way, I have their movie from season 6. I'm gonna put it on the description below if I find it. And I play with these guys. And season 7, it was really bad. Legit, like 60% win loss, barely gladiator. We didn't had any synergy. We didn't understand how the comp worked. We didn't understand what died to our comp. Uh, but it was really bad, like awful, awful, awful. And yeah, it was so bad. We got Gladiator still, and I think it was their first Gladiator, which shows that sometimes the reason why you don't get Gladiator, it's not always because of you, it's because of what you play or with who you play. And they swapped an Elemental Shaman for a Warlock in that comp, and they swapped just an overall better player in me, right? And we go to season 8, and we have this thought process. Okay, We didn't do shit. We got Gladiator. It's your first Gladiator. Alright. And by the way, the guy that played with me, and you're gonna see in the movie, it's Sizer. I think he's pretty well known in Guild Wars. Um, so yeah. So we start playing, and Season 8, it's the season where Shadowmourne, Warriors, double healer, Disc Priest, Paladin, Warrior with a Shadowmourne, or with a DK with a Shadowmourne, or TSG with Shadowmourne, or double healer Ret with a Shadowmourne was super meta, but we beat that comp. So we are really good. And in Season 8, we start with around 90% win loss. 90%. We are dominating the BG. We are rank 1 and we stay there for around 6 months. It was the longest season. Until then, it was the Icecrown season. It was the waiting for Cataclysm. We get we are rank 1 for all of the season. All of the season. Then obviously the win-loss drops a bit. But we are beating the top teams. We are beating the LSD. And we are beating the team that eventually gets rank 1, which was Kartberg, a warrior that played double healer. He had Shadowmourne and played double healer warrior, right? But I'm gonna explain why we don't get rank 1. But yeah, we have an insane synergy by then. Like, me, Sizer, and Matt actually play 2v2 all together. Except Hunter Locke, obviously, but Sizer played with Mats in twos. They had an insane synergy, and then I played with Sizer in twos, and we had an insane synergy in twos. And yeah, we are rank 1. We are the top dog. No one even comes close. At this time, Hydra actually has a character on Blackout that he wants to get Gladiator on or rank 1 on, because it was very common. And if you didn't play during those days, you won't notice. It was very common for players to transfer to get rank 1s, to transfer to worst realms to get rank 1 easier, right? And they would just scout the battle groups to see which were the comps that were top. Why? Because then you want to counter them, right? And if you counter them, you go there. If you don't counter the comp, you don't go there, right? And they were playing RMP. Was playing RMP with Calamist and Raikou. Yes, Raikou. I faced Raikou a lot of times, and we faced them a lot of times, and we beat them. It was really close, the matchup RMP against Hunter Locke Druid. Really, really close. They would either kill our Druid within the first 2 minutes or they would lose. It was pretty much the whole matchup, and the first few games we actually lose every single game to them because we are not understanding what we need to do. But once we understand, and the only losses we get at the start of the season are against their RMP, but after we understood, we actually started to beat them, and we stay as rank 1, right? We play a lot as well, which also helps, obviously. And we are rank 1 for at least 6 months until something really bad happens, which is the Hunter went for a vacation, summer vacation, and our team just crumbled. It's legit the last few months of the season. Cataclysm is coming, and he goes on a summer vacation. And I don't mean a 2-week summer vacation, I mean a 3-month summer vacation. And I'm so pissed because we are destroying every team. Every single team is getting destroyed by us. Every single team is getting destroyed. Double healer warrior doesn't matter. We win. why we have so much CC. We can just kill the warrior, we can kill the disc priest. The only target it's not really good, it's the holy paladin, but it just stays in the trap while the priest is feared or cloned, and then we just swap the CC around. Like, I was so mad, so mad that he went for 3 month vacation. So me and Caesar have a decision to make. He told us he would come back by the time the season was ending, but we had a decision to make. And by the way, everyone was around 100 rating below us. We were just destroying everyone. So we have to make a decision. Do we stop and believe that he actually comes back? And I think we stopped playing for at least a month in 3v3 or 2 months, and we just did 2v2. But back then you had to be active, right? Your team would actually be considered inactive, I think, after a month of not playing it, or 2 months. It was something like that. So we had to make a decision, and we found an elemental shaman, which I found out later. It was a rank 1 elemental, but I found out later the account got bought. And yeah, he bought the account, so the max experience, because I talked with the dude after the season, and he bought the account, and the max experience he had was 2k. And we tank, but we are still rank 1. Okay, we tank a bit with him, but it's still rank 1, and we wait another month, and Matt is still not back. And we just go with it, and we transfer, both of us transfer to play with this shaman, but with his main, right? Because the alt, he said he wanted to play with the main or something, so we find the shaman, we play some with him, it goes bad, but we think, yeah, fuck it, we won't find any better. He's a rank 1, probably we just need to get used to the comp. And we transfer to Alakir, we play there, and we just tank rating. We went from 270, 50 something to 26. We actually tanked a lot. And the hunter comes back. And at some point the hunter comes back. And we are gladiator rating. The season is almost over. I think he came back like a week before. He doesn't have full gear either. Like, we try to get him gladiator, but he ends up at being 2-4, and we end up being 2-6 something, right? And he doesn't get gladiator, and I actually hurt my heart him not getting gladiator, because it was so good. It was the best player I've ever played against and with, by far. And I played against the best players in the world, and the best streamers, pretty much. And he was the best player I've played against, the hunter. And you will see the video. And the video doesn't even show how good he is, which is kind of funny, because he clipped it, right? So he picked the better parts, but he doesn't even show how good it was. It was actually insane. And yeah, it just broke my heart. At that point as well, there was this game starting to come out, which was called StarCraft 2. And in StarCraft 2, you don't really need a team to compete. And I started to think, okay, this is a game for me. I don't really have to rely on a team. I don't have to rely on people being there to play with me. I can just chill, right? I think this is the best. Not sure. Probably it is. I can just chill, right? And that's exactly what I do. I start playing StarCraft. But I kept playing World of Warcraft. Okay, so Cataclysm comes. By the way, I'm telling my whole story, but it's only the PvP part, obviously. And keep in mind that when my teams kinda stopped playing, the only thing that kept me playing was, without a doubt, being an Affliction Warlock. at this point I still love the design and all of that. So Cataclysm comes, I start dating this girl, and I don't have that much time because I'm in college now or in university, and I'm partying a lot, obviously, and I don't have that much time, but I want to keep playing, and I play with the two Swedish brothers, which were called something Ulberg, something like that. I think it was Sebastian and yeah, whatever. So I'm in Alakir, and something really funny happens in Blackout, the battle group, which was an old player came back, right? I think it was Drake came back. It was really famous in Burning Crusade, and it had a lot of connections. And he came back to the game, and he made a guild. And he made a post on Arena Junkie saying that he was making a guild in Agramar. Maybe it was the server, but it was in the Blackout BG, right? And it was considered the best guild in Europe, which it was, by the way. Every single storm skill, I think storm skill was kind of dying, and they wanted to make a new guild in a new place, whatever. And they made this new guild in storm skill in Agramar, and I think it was Agramar, man. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It makes a new guild in the Blackout BG, and every single good player comes. And I'm thinking about going as well. I'm in Arena Junkies. He says he only wants gladiators, but X amount of time gladiators. That it's pretty much gonna be the best guild in the game. And back then we still cared about guilds, right? And in Kata it was when rated BGs came. And we still care about the guilds because Arena Junkies actually had a rating system for guilds, right? So what they would do is pick up every single player within that guild and give them a rating, and this was happening since TBC. they gave um, they gave that guild a rating considering all the rating from all the players within the guild. So being in the good guild was actually kind of important. You would pretty much just play within guilds, within that guild, right? It was like a clan for CS, for example, or for StarCraft. But yeah, Cataclysm comes. I'm already starting to play StarCraft. It's the only RTS I played as well, so I'm pretty shit at it, like World of Warcraft. But I have that competitive side in improving. And at that point, I find like a guy that I still have, which is Funclode, and he's making a guild in Al-Akir to kind of compete with that other guild. And since I'm already in Alakir, I don't want to transfer, pay money, and all of that shit. Like I'm a broke motherfucker, so I decide to stay in Alakir, and which was a mistake. Looking backwards, it was a mistake because I was streaming in Xfire before Twitch came, and I had like around 100 to 200 viewers. I don't know what they would see because back then the quality was so bad you couldn't see anything. But yeah, I had a constant stream viewership, and if I went back to that guild, I would just play with the best players in the world for sure. Even if yeah, I would just play with the best players in the world, and today I could actually be streaming, but whatever, I don't really care. And I didn't really care back then, so I just went to these guys and I played with two Swedish brothers that were really good, and I played Warrior Lock Paladin, and we were the highest in the world until I quitted the game. We were actually the highest in the world. We were beating all these other teams in Blackout. We weren't top of the ladder by any means. We were like a mid-tier gladiator because the comp wasn't that good. But we were the highest warrior lock paladin in the world, and we were above Barbarus, not Barbarus, Hoodrich in NA that was also playing that comp in NA, and we were actually higher than they were, so we were super happy with it. And I also played against Barbaros. I don't know if you're from that time, but Barbaros, the guy that discovered in Wrath of the Lich King that you could bug the auto attack or the global cooldown, so you would hit more and you would do insane amount of damage as warrior. Yeah, I played against that guy. But yeah, like at that point, the game is changing. I don't really like Soul Swap. I don't really like Dark Soul. I'm one of those guys that thinks that cooldowns are bad, but I play the game for a few months and I stopped playing because of college, of StarCraft, and real life stuff. You know, like my girl. I didn't really have the time to play that much, so I decided to just go into StarCraft. And for between Cataclysm and MOP, I never played again. I just played StarCraft, and I actually got to Masters Leagues before Grandmasters was a thing. I won a tournament in Portugal, but the two best players weren't playing, so. But I was pretty much the third best player in Portugal in terms of StarCraft, and yeah, I just played StarCraft. After that, after Kata, to be honest, I didn't really do much more in World of Warcraft. I didn't really push more rating. I was thinking Shadowlands would be once again the and I just played in and out, you know, like I played a bit of MOP. I played like the last few months. I got a team. The team disbanded at the end of the month of the team disbanded within the last week, I think, or the two last weeks. We were 3k MMR as Hunter Lock Shaman. The hunter was a German guy and he stopped playing. Like I'm telling you my story to say that pretty much that it was really hard most of the time to just lose a team from one season to the other, or like sometimes it happened within the same season, right? It was pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie about that. But but I kept playing, and this is an advice that I want to give you guys, which is what can I use here? It's everything so bad, but sure. This is an advice that I want to give you guys, you know? Like, I know a lot of people complain about not having a team. Just don't quit, because after MOP, I once again got a team, played Rogue Lock Druid, my team disbanded in WODs in the first season. And by team, you know what I mean. Like we don't have teams right now, right? But you have players that constantly play with you. The only players that actually don't have teams are pretty much the really high tier, or considered really high tier, because they can play with anyone. But if you're like mid tier to below tier, try to find two guys and try to play with them. Just try to improve. Don't jump from team to team. That won't help anything. You won't get better because of it. And yeah. But yeah, this is my story. The only reason why I still play, and by the way, between WODs, Legion, and BFA, I played a maximum of, I don't know, 3 seasons. And during those 3 seasons, I didn't really try and got Gladiator in 2. And yeah. The game right now, and I made this story because of lack of tuning as well. The game right now is super bad in terms of PvP. You don't really have any tuning, and if you don't play a meta comp, you just lose, no matter what the skill. You just can't win. What can I do here? Oh, I did this. Okay. No matter the skill, you just lose, to be honest. But it will improve, right? It will improve, and I hope what I hope for World of Warcraft is that TBC Classic brings fresh air and bring to the live game and brings new devs. Okay, I think they are just bad. These devs are just bad. The lack of tuning, it's just super sad. And I've been considering quitting World of Warcraft and quitting my Warlock. And you see, I have a lot of alts to pick from, like a Shadow Priest, Warrior, and Rogue. But Affliction is and was what kept me in the game. Even throughout BFA, the possibility of playing a Warlock overall and playing Affliction specifically kept me playing the game. Because one thing that I actually regret while playing was quitting in Cataclysm because the class design was actually insanely good for Warlocks. I didn't like Soul Swap, sure, I didn't like Dark Soul, but overall it was a really good class design, and I miss that. You know, like I miss that part of Affliction, and I don't want to quit the game just to then come back and hear about oh, you missed this season where Affliction was insanely fun. I don't even mean overpower. I mean in terms of fun. Like you could do this, you could do that. Oh my God, it was so good. Why did we quit? Why did you quit the game? And I came back to the game because a lot of my old friends came back in the day, back in MOP. That came back and stuck around, but didn't really stuck that much because WoD, I think if I played 6 months, it was way too much. I actually mined a warrior throughout WoD, pretty much, and yeah, it's just that. So guys, I hope you like my story. I think I forgot a lot of stuff, but I should have written it down to check a script. But yeah, if you follow the my YouTube, I'm not about that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the two videos. I'm gonna split them up, obviously. And peace. Let's have some tuning someday. Let's hope for that. See ya.